My neighbor keeps all his savings in one place. His retirement account. That's it. 40 years of work, hundreds of thousands of dollars, sitting entirely in stock market funds. He sleeps fine at night. I don't understand how. Last week, we were talking over the fence, and he asked me where I keep my money. I started listing some in stocks, some in bonds, some in real estate, some in my business, some in precious metals, some in cash. He laughed, called me paranoid, said I was leaving money on the table by not going all in on stocks. 2 days later, the market dropped 8% in one session. He couldn't sleep that night. I slept perfectly. Not because I'm smarter, because I understand something he doesn't. Diversification isn't about maximizing returns. It's about sleeping at night regardless of what happens in the world. That's the Jewish approach to wealth, and it's kept families financially stable through wars, depressions, hyperinflation, and every crisis you can imagine. Before we break this down, do me a quick favor. Comment below with what city you're watching from. I'm genuinely curious where this message is reaching and what financial climates exist in different parts of the world. Drop your city right now. So let's talk about what diversification actually means in Jewish financial thinking, because it's completely different from what financial advisors usually recommend. Most advisors talk about diversification within asset classes, different stocks, different sectors, international versus domestic. That's fine, but it's shallow diversification. It's like having multiple rooms in a house that's built on sand. Jewish diversification goes deeper. It's about asset classes that respond to different economic conditions. It's about holding things that move independently of each other. It's about ensuring that no single catastrophe can destroy everything you've built. Here's the framework. You need assets that do well in growth, assets that do well in stability, assets that do well in chaos, and assets that do well when everything else fails. Most people only own the first category. Jewish investors own all four. Let me break this down practically. Growth assets are things like stocks and business equity. When the economy expands, these thrive. You absolutely need exposure here because this is where wealth gets built during good times. But if this is all you own, you're vulnerable to recessions, market crashes, and economic downturns. Stability assets are things like high-grade bonds and dividend-paying stocks in essential industries. These provide consistent income regardless of economic conditions. People still need electricity, water, food, healthcare. Companies in these sectors keep generating revenue and paying dividends even during recessions. This category keeps money flowing when growth stalls. Chaos assets are things like gold, silver, and other hard assets. These tend to hold or increase value when everything else is collapsing. During hyperinflation, currency crises, or severe market crashes, precious metals provide a floor. You're not holding them for growth. You're holding them as insurance against catastrophe. And finally, liquid assets. Just cash. Sitting in a savings account, earning almost nothing. This seems wasteful to most investors. Jewish thinking says, cash is optionality. When opportunities appear during market crashes, you need capital to deploy. When emergencies hit, you need money that's immediately accessible. Cash isn't dead weight, it's dry powder. My Aunt Ruth allocates her wealth this way religiously. About 50% in growth assets, 25% in stability assets, 15% in chaos assets, 10% in cash. This allocation won't maximize her returns during bull markets, but it guarantees she survives bear markets, and that survival is what compounds into real wealth over decades. During the 2008 crisis, her portfolio dropped maybe 20%. Her friends who were 100% in stocks dropped 50 or 60%. But here's the key. She had cash. She used that cash to buy stocks at the bottom. Her friends had no cash. They could only watch the opportunity pass. 5 years later, she'd recovered completely and made substantial gains. Many of them were still recovering losses. Here's something most people don't think about. Geographic diversification. Jewish families learned this the hard way through history. When you're concentrated in one place and that place turns hostile, you lose everything. This created a cultural instinct. Never have all your wealth in one country. This sounds extreme, but think about it practically. If all your assets are denominated in one currency and that currency collapses, you're destroyed. If all your property is in one country and that country confiscates assets or experiences economic collapse, you're destroyed. Geographic diversification is insurance against political and economic risks most people assume will never happen. I know someone named David who takes this seriously. He's American, but he owns property in 3 countries. He holds accounts in 2 different currencies. He has investments in American companies, European companies, and emerging market companies. Is this optimal for returns? Probably not. Is it safer? Absolutely. If any one country or currency faces crisis, he's partially insulated. Let's talk about business diversification, because this is huge in Jewish wealth building. You don't just invest in businesses, you own businesses, multiple businesses, ideally in different industries. This creates income streams that aren't correlated with each other or with market conditions. My grandfather owned a retail store, a small manufacturing operation, and rental properties. 3 completely different businesses. When retail struggled, manufacturing kept him stable. When manufacturing faced challenges, rental income continued. No single business failure could destroy him. That multi-business approach sustained our family through multiple economic cycles. Compare this to most people's approach. One job, one income stream, entirely dependent on one employer. If that employer struggles or your industry faces disruption, you're in immediate crisis. Jewish thinking says, multiple income streams from multiple sources. It's harder to build, but exponentially safer once established. Here's a principle that might sound strange. You diversify across time, not just across assets. This means dollar-cost averaging. This means not trying to time markets. This means investing consistently regardless of market conditions. You buy when prices are high. You buy when prices are low. You smooth out the volatility over decades. My friend Janet has invested the same amount every single month for 30 years. Sometimes she bought at market peaks, sometimes at market bottoms. She never tried to time anything. Her average purchase price over 3 decades is nearly perfect, better than if she'd tried to time entries and exits. Time diversification removes the risk of catastrophically bad timing. Let's address something uncomfortable: talent diversification within families. Jewish culture emphasizes different children pursuing different careers. Not everyone becomes a doctor or lawyer. Some go into business, some into academia, some into trades, some into arts. This isn't just cultural preference, it's risk management. If the entire family works in one industry and that industry collapses, everyone struggles simultaneously. If family members are spread across different fields, someone's always stable enough to help others during tough times. This family-level diversification has sustained Jewish communities through countless economic disruptions. Here's the psychological benefit nobody talks about. Proper diversification eliminates the need to be right. If you're concentrated in one investment, you need that investment to succeed. You've bet everything on being correct. If you're properly diversified, you can be wrong about individual investments and still be fine overall. My portfolio contains investments I'm wrong about. Some stocks that have underperformed. Some bonds yielding less than I hoped. Some real estate that hasn't appreciated as expected. But my overall portfolio still grows because I'm right about enough things. Diversification gives you permission to be human, to make mistakes, and still build wealth. Most investors feel they need to be certain before investing. They research endlessly, seeking conviction. Jewish approach says, accept uncertainty, diversify accordingly, proceed anyway. You'll be wrong sometimes. Diversification ensures those mistakes don't destroy you. Let's talk about skill diversification. Not just owning different assets, but developing different skills. You can invest, but you can also build businesses. You can understand real estate. You can learn about precious metals. You can develop expertise across multiple domains. This intellectual diversification makes you adaptable regardless of economic conditions. My uncle learned real estate investing in his 30s, business management in his 40s, and stock analysis in his 50s. Each skill opened new opportunities. When real estate markets froze, his business knowledge kept him earning. When his business faced challenges, his investment income provided stability. Skills diversify your capabilities, not just your assets. Here's what Jewish wealth diversification actually creates. You're never dependent on any single thing working perfectly. The stock market can crash. Your business can struggle. Real estate can stagnate. Your job can disappear. And you're still okay. Not because you're lucky, because you've systematically eliminated single points of failure. This approach won't make you the richest person in any room. Someone who went all in on the right investment will have higher returns. But you'll be in the room consistently, decade after decade, through every crisis and cycle. And that consistency, that survival, compounds into wealth that outlasts the high flyers who eventually crash. My neighbor with everything in stocks? He'll probably be fine. The market usually goes up long-term, but probably isn't certainty. And in financial planning, certainty matters. Jewish diversification sacrifices maximum returns for maximum certainty. You'll never have the best year, but you'll never have a devastating year either. And over a lifetime, avoiding devastating years matters more than capturing best years. So here's the framework. Diversify across asset classes, across geographies, across businesses, across time, across family careers, and across personal skills. Build a financial ecosystem where nothing is critical and everything is useful. Create redundancy in every direction. Accept lower maximum returns in exchange for higher minimum outcomes. That's how Jews diversify wealth differently. That's why it's safer. Not because of genius, because of paranoia transformed into strategy, because of historical memory converted into practical wisdom, because of understanding that the goal isn't getting rich quickly. It's staying wealthy indefinitely. Tell me in the comments which type of diversification you're missing right now. Hit that like button because understanding true diversification protects your financial future. Subscribe because the next video reveals the exact percentage allocations for different asset classes at different life stages, and you need those numbers to build your strategy.